Hi, welcome to our Bowdabra Monday Night Live. Tonight we're going to do really fun Halloween decor. I'm Sandy Sandler, the creator of the Bowdabra, and we're going to walk through a wreath and some bows and some other projects. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is go to our overhead camera. Let's go over here, go to the overhead camera, and I'll show you here. We have this one wreath and we've wrapped our wire wreath with our green Bowdabra burlap. It's a 2.5 inch wide wired burlap, and then also I'm wrapped it with our orange 1.5 inch wide, but we've only wrapped the top half because the bow's going to go on the bottom half. So you can see here. So I'm going to take this and put it aside, and I'm going to grab some Bowdabra bow wire and take my Bowdabra, and I'm going to take a piece of my Bowdabra bow wire, grab some scissors, and since I have to tie it over a wreath, I'm going to make it a little bit longer than I normally would. And just fold this underneath. And then what I'm going to do is take my mesh. We're going to make just a big sort of bow using our mesh. So I'm just going to scrunch that in there, bring this around, and bring it over here. I'm going to scrunch it in here. We're just making a loopy bow. Whoops. Actually, let's just bring this here, fold this back over, and just loop this in here. And I'll take my wand, give everything a good scrunch. So thanks, everybody. Let me know where you're watching from and which Bowdabra you have. Do you have the big Bowdabra or the mini Bowdabra? So now I'm going to take my burlap and we're just going to lay it into, whoops, mesh wants to pop out. Lay in our green and our orange burlap. These are 1.5 inch wide burlaps. And then I'm going to lay in our skeleton ribbon and scrunch that down. And again, I'm going to give everything a good scrunch because the mesh seems to want to pop out. And then I have my witch's hands, which we're going to put going upwards towards the top of my wreath. And I have my other witch's hands, which we're going to put again up the top of my bow. And I have our lilies that will just lay in here. And I love the purple with the black and orange for Halloween. I think it's a great color combination. Hi, Adrian. Hi, Jane. Hi, Sue. And now we're going to just make a fold and twist bow. So I'm going to twist it, fold it back and forth, and twist and fold it back. And just make sure that my loops are approximately the same size. And all I'm doing here is just folding and twisting. Whoops, what did I do? I didn't twist this time. So twist and fold and twist. That way the right side of the ribbon or the pretty side of the ribbon is on the outside of our loops. That's why we twist. And I'm just going to fold this back and forth. And don't forget to check out our Bowdabra.com, our tutorials. Let's make these a little bit and fold this back over. And I'm going to give everything a good scrunch again. So we'll push everything down into the Bowdabra and scrunch it down. Then I'm going to take my green and we're just going to fold and twist. And just again, fold and twist. And just let that tail go down there. Then I'm going to take my orange and we're just going to fold and twist. And fold and twist. Fold. Bring this back over here. I'm going to give everything a good scrunch down. And you can see when the Bowdabra gets really full, the towers tend to come together. So you just pull them apart a little bit with your fingers. And now I'm going to take my Bowdabra bow wire and take this side, which is folded in half. And again, the reason we fold it in half is so now I have a slip knot. So I'm just going to pull this through my slip knot, get my finger out of the way there, pull it tight while everything's still in the Bowdabra. And I'm going to pull it out. And you can see how thick this is. Just looking here, we've got a lot of stuff that we put into our Bowdabra. We're going to now just pull it apart, bring it back around to the back, and we'll tie a knot. And have you guys started decorating for Halloween? I was up visiting my mom last weekend, and I couldn't believe the way people decked out their yards for Halloween. It was fantastic. And now I'm just going to shape out my bow. And I shape it by pulling my loops apart and putting my fingers, because these are all wired ribbons. So I can just put my fingers into the loops and would just shape everything. And then I'm going to take my wreath here, and I'm just going to take my wire and I'm going to tie it on. I'm tying it onto the bottom here. So I'm just going to bring it here, pull it tight, and I'm just going to twist my wire a little bit and bring it back over here. Hey, Brenda. So Jane, you haven't started decorating. Are you going to do a big decoration this year or? And I'm just going to clip the ends of my wire and bring this all up here onto my wreath. And oops, looks like we got a piece of mesh there. And we'll come to the front facing camera and you can see how pretty this wreath came out. Isn't that gorgeous? And it's so super simple to make. So now I'm going to put this aside and we're going to make a big door bow. And I'm going to take my Bowdabra. I'm going to take a piece of my Bowdabra bow wire. We're going to fold it in half and lay it down into the Bowdabra. And let's go to our overhead camera. And I'm going to take a piece of my mesh. This time we're going to do a scrunchy style bow. So let me just roll this a little bit so the frayed ends aren't going to be seen. And we're just going to scrunch it down into the center of our Bowdabra. And this is the simplest thing to do. I'm so excited, everybody. I'm going a week from tomorrow. I'm going to Australia, and that should be so much fun. I'm going with my brother and my mom. And My mother's 87 years old and she's like a spring chicken. She walks a minimum of 10,000 steps a day. She does yoga and Pilates. It's insane what good shape she's in. So we're going to put this in here and lay these down in there. So these are just Dollar Tree, and we're going to make a bunch of tails that come out over here. So we have our orange wired ribbon and lay this down here. And then what I'm going to do is take my ghost ribbon and we're just going to fold it and twist and fold and twist. So does anybody have any techniques that can stop a dog from going after sprinklers if you don't catch her going after them? My Siberian Husky Sapphire thinks the sprinklers are her plaything, but I only catch her after she's destroyed the sprinklers. So she and my gardener are having a war in the yard with my sprinklers. And we're just going to bring this back over here. I'll take my wand, give everything a good scrunch. And now I'm going to take a piece of my orange ribbon. We're just going to, again, just fold and twist. And you don't have to use wired ribbons in the Bowdabra, but I find that it's better to use a wired ribbon. Oh dear. You put do not disturb on, but I still seem to get all of these phone calls when I'm doing my lives and I can't figure out how to stop them from coming through. So now I'm going to fold it back over. So if anybody has any tips on things that we should do when we get to Sydney, I'd love to know. And if you're watching from, oh, and then I'm just going to lay this down in there and do sort of a, basically what I'm doing here is doing the button loop in the center, and I'm just going to do a half a loop. So it's half the size of my other loops. Scrunch it down. Take my wand, give everything a good scrunch. And take my Bowdabra bow wire, bring it up here. And again, because I folded in half, I have my slip knot. So I'm going to pull this through my slip knot, pull it really tight while it's still in the Bowdabra, and take it out. Going to separate the ends, bring it around to the back, and tie a knot. And we'll double knot it. And now I'm going to shape out my bow. So I'm going to bring these around here on my loops, bring this tail down, these tails down, and give everything a good fluff. You can fluff forever, but one of the big tricks with fluffing is to fluff it when you put it on the article that you're going to put your loop onto. Now, I have my little button loop, so I'm just going to shape that and put my fingers through these loops and bring these around here. And we're going to just make a regular bow in a minute. And we'll also do a bow in the mini Bowdabra. And I'm just going to cut this little piece off here because I don't need it. And let's go to the overhead camera. And now you can see how pretty this came out. Isn't that super simple and so beautiful for your door for Halloween? So I love that if you haven't started decorating, you can actually start decorating now with Bowdabra and it won't take you very much time at all. Because you see that in like 15 minutes, we made a wreath and the beautiful door swag. So put this aside. And now what I'm going to do is grab my Bowdabra bow wire, and looks like we have an extra piece there. And I'm going to take a piece and fold it in half. And this is a really good bow that you can make for gift wrapping or for a wreath bow. So let's go back to our overhead camera. And I've already cut a piece. This is about 12 inches of ribbon. And we've already dovetailed the ends. So now I'm just going to scrunch this down into my Bowdabra. And we'll put this one going this direction. And now what I'm going to do is take my Bowdabra, my ribbon, and we're just going to twist it and bring it back over and twist, fold it over and twist. And don't forget to let me know where you're watching from. And twist it. And also which Bowdabra you have, if you have the mini or the big one. So all I'm doing is just folding and twisting. And now I'm going to just take my wand to give everything a good scrunch, bring up my Bowdabra bow wire, pull it through my slip knot, whoops, without going around the towers, pull it tight while it's still in the Bowdabra, and you pull it out, separate the ends. Hi, Shirley from Shelby Township, Michigan. Cool. So have you guys started getting any cold weather, or are you still in like nice fall temperatures? And we're going to now just shape out my loops and pull them to opposite directions. And now we have a beautiful bow that could be, I'm just going to clip the ends, but I could use this bow as a wreath bow or a gift package bow. So basically, to make a wreath bow or a door bow, you just make them exactly the same way as you would a regular bow in Bowdabra. And now what I'm going to do is show you another like sort of a fall bow that could be used for your Halloween decorations, but I'm going to use ribbon that's for fall. So I'm going to put this bow aside, and I'm going to take a piece of my Bowdabra bow wire, and again fold it in half. Now this bow could be a wreath attachment, or it could just be used for decor. I'm just going to fold this underneath. In Boise, it's nice fall weather. Thank you, Jane, for letting me know. And lay this down here. Lay this in here. And I'm going to now just take my tails, lay those down, and lay another pair of tails down in here. Oh, Adrian's making a nutcracker wreath. How cool is that? And you know what? I think I'm going to change this and make this a funky bow. So we're just going to twist this. So it's basically like I'm making a bunch of awareness bows. And then I'm going to take this here and twist, lay this down. So this is another way to use your scraps of ribbon that you have laying around. And just have the tails going in opposite directions. And take this. And again, all I'm doing is twisting, have my tails going this way, bring this back over. And then I'm going to make a scrunchy bow in the middle. And this is what's nice is with our scrunchy technique, you can do it with any kind of ribbon. And in the mini, you can even use thinner ribbon. So I'm just going to fold this under here. Everything a good scrunch. Take my Bowdabra wand, scrunch everything down. Now you could use a Halloween ribbon for this to make it more Halloweeny, but I chose to just do something for fall in here, and we're going to do another Halloween bow in just a second. Let's just bring this up here and bring it through my slip knot. Looks like I caught a leaf there. Bring everything, pull everything up here, separate my ends, bring it around to the back, and we're just going to tie a knot. And tie another knot. And go and shape out the bow. So shape my loops, bring the flowers around. And bring the tails down under the flowers here. And we have this really pretty bow that was super simple to make. And again, it makes a beautiful wreath attachment, or you can just use it for like a housewarming gift or something that you want to bring to somebody's house. So I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to grab my orange ribbon and my black and orange ribbon, which makes a great bow for Halloween. And we're going to and what I'm going to do now actually is make a spiky bow. You know what? Let's do this in the mini Bowdabra. So I'm going to take my mini, I'm going to take my ruler out, fold it in half, my wire in half, and just tuck it underneath. And all I'm doing is just tucking it underneath. It's not attaching to anything. And what's nice about the Bowdabra, let's go ahead and do a tail here. And I'm going to just fold it back. All I'm doing is folding and twisting. And so this will be, we have two tails here. No, actually, I'm going to not make a tail. I'm going to twist it, bring it back over. So you have a little button loop. And all I'm going to do here is take my wand, give everything a good scrunch, pull it out, separate the ends, bring it around to the back, and just give it a twist. And I have my button loop, which I'm just going to open here in the center. And I just realized that I did this on the front facing camera, so I'm going to make another one really quickly for you so you can see what I'm doing. We are going to go to the overhead camera. So I'm going to take my Bowdabra bow wire, I'm going to clip it, fold it in half, and lay it down into my mini Bowdabra. And now what I'm going to do is take my, so you can make pretty much, and we're just going to dovetail the ends. And these are going to be my tails. I'm just going to lay this down, and let's make sure that I have a big enough piece here. Well, it looks like we've got a bunch of tails here. Oh, here we go. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is twist, make sure I have the right side up. So twist it, bring it back over. You can make a nice 5 or 6 inch wide bow using your mini Bowdabra. I'm going to twist it, fold it back over, and twist, and fold it back over, and twist. And we're just folding and twisting. I'm going to fold and twist. So we've got 3, let's do 4 loops on each side. Twist, Make sure that I have the right side of my loop. Twist it and fold again. And then we're going to make the loop in the center, which we call our button loop. Fold this all over. And make a loop that's about half the size of my other loops. And I'm going to take my wand and give everything a good scrunch. And I'm just going to clip this off here. Everything a good scrunch. And now I'm going to take my wire, pull it through my slip knot, pull it tight while it's still in my Bowdabra. I'm going to separate, bring it out, separate the ends, bring it around to the back. Going to tie a knot and tie another knot. And now what you can see that I'm doing here is I'm just taking my center loop and shaping out my other loops. So this is a great way to make, using your mini Bowdabra, to make like a 6-inch wide bow. And we have this here with a little loop in the center. So here you have this. It's super simple to make. And now what I think I'm going to do is make a spiky bow. And I don't have any Halloween ribbon cut for it, so we're going to make another fall ribbon. So I'm going to take this, put this aside, and now this ribbon here is great because it's all, you can use, again, use scraps of ribbon. And I'll take my Bowdabra and take a piece of my Bowdabra bow wire. It's like everything's using gold tonight. I swear I cut that. I guess not. So lay this down into my Bowdabra, go to the overhead camera, and you can see these are just like about 8 inches long. Let's actually start from this side. And the ends are dovetailed, so this makes a great hair bow or spiky bow. And we're just going to take this here, lay that down. And as you can see, I'm basically shaping it as I go. I love this ribbon. This is one of our value ribbons that we have on our Bowdabra website. And lay this down. It's just so pretty with the gold leaves on it. Makes a great fall ribbon. And lay this down here. And don't forget to check out our Bowdabra Mega Ribbon Kit. They're a really, really good deal right now at bowdabra.com. Lay this down here. I'm going to finish off with my beautiful little, my favorite fall ribbon, which is this with the gold on it, the gold leaves and the maroon background. Give everything a good scrunch. Bring this back up here. Pull it. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I have some roses to put in here. So let's go back and get my little roses, which we're going to lay down in the center. And now I'm going to take my wand, my wire, pull it tight while it's still in my Bowdabra. You must hear me say that over and over again. Pull it out. I'm going to separate my ends, bring them around to the back, and we're just going to tie a knot. So I want to thank all you so much for being so loyal and coming back every Monday night to watch us with our Monday night lives. We have so many of you on here from YouTube and from Facebook. It's really great. And bring this here. You see how pretty this is. And this can make a really beautiful like wreath bow, or if you make it smaller, it can be a cute little hair bow with the spiky ribbons. And again, we're just using scraps of ribbon, which makes it so easy and fun to make. So now what I'm going to do is just go over what we made tonight. And please let me know if you're watching us on the replay. Please let me know, and let me know where you're watching from. So I'm going to put this aside. We also made, whoopsie daisy. Let me make sure I have this going right. So we have our beautiful wreath that we made with our witch's hands and our skeleton ribbon. And we have our beautiful door bow that we made. It was super, super simple to make. And then we also have our little wreath attachment and our little bow here that we made in the mini Bowdabra. And then we have our ghost ribbon bow that could be, again, um, a wreath bow or a gift bow. That's what I love, is all of these bows can work for wreaths, for gifts. Oh, my sapphire came in, my little Siberian husky, who's been fighting with my sprinklers. So I want to thank all you so much for watching, and we will see you next week. So bye, everybody.